You are lying in bed with the lights off, thumb moving on its own, when a person you once sat beside in a classroom announces the life they now have. Before you have finished reading the caption, something in your chest has already delivered its verdict. You are behind. Behind what, though? Behind whom? And measured from where? You have never seen a life the way you see your own. You know every version of yourself that almost happened, the city you nearly moved to, the career you keep quietly renegotiating at 2 in the morning. Your life reaches you as a manuscript covered in crossings out, and you are the only reader who can see the margins. Everyone else's life arrives as a clean page. Not because their lives are clean, but because publication is the only form in which another person's life can reach you at all. A theater has two kinds of room. There is the stage, where the performance is composed and lit, and there is the backstage, where the costumes hang half open and the actors mutter their doubts. The sociologist Erving Goffman argued that social life is built this way. Each of us maintains a front region where the self is presented, finished, and coherent, and a back region where the scenes show. His point was not that people are frauds. His point was that presentation is unavoidable. The moment a life becomes visible to someone else, it has already been staged, and you hold a lifetime backstage pass to exactly one production, your own. Nobody is lying to you. The announcement you scrolled past is probably true. The new job exists, the wedding happened, the book is real. But an announcement is, by its nature, a final cut. It cannot contain the months of dread that preceded it, or the night they almost called the whole thing off. Not because they are hiding these things from you in particular, but because that is what announcing is, the removal of process. You are not being deceived. You are simply reading the last sentence of a chapter whose earlier pages were never printed. Human beings measure themselves with other human beings because there is nothing else to measure with. The psychologist Festinger called this social comparison. In the absence of any objective ruler for how a life is going, we reach for the nearest available lives and hold ourselves against them. The instinct is ancient and probably not removable. But notice what the instrument is actually doing. It lays your interior against their exterior. It compares your rehearsal footage, complete with flubbed lines and false starts, to their opening night. The measurement is not slightly off. It is a category error, performed automatically, dozens of times a day. Kierkegaard observed that life can only be understood backwards, yet it must be lived forwards. This is usually read as a remark about memory, but it also explains the strange, finished quality other lives seem to have. When someone's news reaches you, it arrives in retrospect, already narrated, already survived. Their uncertainty has been resolved by the time you hear of it. Your own life, meanwhile, is the only one you are condemned to experience forwards, in real time, with the outcome withheld. Of course, theirs lives understood, and yours does not. Theirs comes to you as history. Yours comes to you as weather. You are on someone else's screen tonight. This is the turn worth sitting with. Some piece of your life, a photograph or a passing remark, has reached another person as a clean page, and it made their manuscript feel suddenly shabby. Perhaps it happened during the very month you privately consider your worst. You did not intend to perform. It did not matter. Distance edited you on their behalf, the way it edits everyone for you. The envy economy has no honest participants and no dishonest ones. It has only people mistaking the direction of the light. What would it even mean to be behind? The word smuggles in a picture, a single track, a shared starting gun, a finish line everyone agreed on. No such track exists. You were never entered in a race with the person from the classroom. Your temperament and the particular weight you woke up carrying are not commensurable with theirs. Yet the feeling of behindness survives the collapse of the race it presumes. That is what makes it worth distrusting. It is a conclusion without a measurement, a verdict from a court that was never convened. A draft is not a failed final. This is the quiet mistake underneath the whole ache. A draft is the only state in which anything can still be revised. The finished look of other lives is not a property of those lives, it is a property of your distance from them. Up close, every life is mid-sentence. The people whose announcements sting you are, at this very moment, unsure about something they cannot bring themselves to say out loud. Finality is an optical effect. It appears wherever you are too far away to see the cursor still blinking. The feeling will come again, probably this week. You will be tired, the screen will glow, and someone's good news will land on you like a judgment. You do not have to argue yourself out of it. Just name what is happening. I am reading a final cut and holding it against my rough footage. That single sentence does not abolish the ache, but it relocates it. The problem stops being your life and becomes the angle you were forced to view it from. This is a shift in seeing, not a technique. You cannot gain access to other people's backstages. You can remember that they exist. The crossed-out quality of your own days is not evidence against you. If every life you can see has been edited by distance, then the rawness of yours is simply what a life looks like from the only seat where one can actually be watched. You are not behind. You are backstage. Those are different rooms. Somewhere tonight, a stranger is looking at a fragment of your life and quietly concluding that theirs has stalled. You would correct them if you could. You would tell them about the margins, about 2 in the morning. Extend yourself the correction you would extend to them. If this gave you something to sit with, that is what this channel is for. Small shifts in how you see your own life. I will see you in the next one.